Alien stunned. Humans can pet anything. The Galactic Concord had encountered many odd species throughout the stars. Some civilizations valued silence above speech. Some communicated through colors or vibrations. Others through scent trails or chemical releases. Across the 1,000 worlds of the Spiral Alliance, diversity was expected. But nothing had prepared the galaxy for humans. Not their language. Not their art. Not their strange obsession with bread that could sing when toasted.
No.
What truly stunned the Concord was something else entirely. The humans would pet anything. Not just animals. Not just soft things. Not just creatures with eyes or mouths or known body temperatures. Anything. Anything at all. The first incident occurred on the neutral moon base orbiting Denel Theta. It was a quiet diplomatic station filled with scientists and ambassadors. Representatives of 7 species were present, including a small Earth team led by cultural attaché Marla Juno. Marla had a smile like a sunrise and a habit of speaking to plants. She was known for her collection of knitted socks and her tendency to name everything. It was Marla who found the creature. The Denel Theta moonbase had a waste disposal unit. Inside lived a life form no one had dared touch. It was called a greshel. It resembled a pile of wriggling seaweed with bioluminescent strands that moved in syncopated pulses. It had teeth on the outside of its body. It emitted an odor like old batteries. Most species avoided the greshel. Marla crouched down and said, "Well, aren't you just a wiggly little fella?" Witnesses reported that she extended her hand in a slow and gentle arc. The greshel flinched. Marla murmured softly. Then she stroked one of its glowing tendrils. The greshel purred. No one knew it could purr. Security footage showed Marla spending 20 minutes petting the creature and talking about her grandmother's lasagna recipe. The footage leaked. It went viral. The title on the broadcast: "Humans can pet anything." The galaxy had questions. What was this behavior? Was it a dominance display? A hunting ritual? A religious rite? Psychologists across 3 sectors studied hours of human footage. Zookeepers, farmers, children in parks, soldiers near alien machines. A clear pattern emerged. See something strange. Identify it as alive.
Pet it.
It did not matter if it was dangerous, if it was covered in spikes, if it was cold or wet or screamed in 7 frequencies. The human response was always the same. Extend hand. Whisper soothing words. Begin contact. In one astonishing clip, a human scientist was seen petting a sentient pile of lava. In another, a soldier from Earth's eastern continent reached out to a metallic creature that consumed electricity and had already destroyed 3 drones. He lost 2 fingertips and a boot. He smiled the entire time. When asked why, he responded she was scared. Just needed a little love. The Alari species filed a formal complaint. Their ambassador was shaped like a shifting net of glass and static. They stated clearly that human petting was inappropriate and confusing. They requested that humans be trained not to touch things without invitation. The next day, the Alari ambassador was found resting on the lap of a Terran pilot named Jessa. Jessa was stroking the ambassador's edge with 2 fingers and humming an old lullaby. The ambassador was glowing in lavender patterns known to signify deep contentment. When asked why they allowed it, the ambassador replied, "We did not understand the appeal until we experienced it." More examples flooded in. A child on the Mars colony petted a dust storm shaped like a dog. A miner on Jupiter's 3rd moon made friends with a sentient fungus by naming it Harold and patting it on the cap. A diplomat calmed an agitated warbeast on Krull 9 by scratching behind its secondary mandible. A fleet captain comforted a lonely asteroid intelligence by laying beside it and stroking its rocky surface. No human could explain it properly. They said things like, "It's just instinct," or "I had a feeling," or "He looked pettable." The galaxy had no defense. The scientific community adapted. Research groups formed with names like Interstellar Affection Studies and Galactic Touch Behavior Units. Papers were published. Charts were drawn. A new field emerged: xenoaffective contact theory. It stated that humans had evolved a universal comfort signal based on touch, tone, and facial expression. Other species could detect this signal regardless of biology. It worked on mammals, insects, energy beings, gas clouds, and psychic entities. One paper stated simply, "The human hand reaches. The universe responds." The most shocking revelation came from the Apex Predator planet Garos. They're a creature known as the Vrex hunted anything that moved. It feared no predator. It knew no mercy. It had armor like obsidian and eyes like boiling tar. A tourist shuttle crash-landed during a storm. Only one human survived. She was found 3 days later.
Alive.
Unharmed. Sitting beside a sleeping Vrex with her hand resting on its snout. She named it Buttons. After that, the galaxy changed. Terran embassies installed comfort stations where visitors could receive emotional grounding from trained humans. The phrase, "do not pet the wildlife," was replaced with "use caution when petting unknown species." Petting etiquette classes were taught at diplomatic academies. A Galactic Alliance conference added a pet zone where approved humans could provide stress relief for delegates in high-stakes negotiations.
It worked.
Negotiations got shorter. Tensions dropped. A war was prevented when an angry delegate paused to receive a shoulder rub from a Terran technician. They signed the peace accord the next morning. Of course, some beings remained confused. The Morcari, who used echolocation to communicate, could not understand why humans liked physical contact. They sent a scholar named Threll to study the phenomenon. Threll met a librarian named Naomi. Naomi showed him books, made tea, and one day during a thunderstorm reached out and placed a warm hand on his dorsal ridge. Threll short-circuited. He later published a book titled Touch of Stars, Understanding Human Contact. The conclusion was brief. They do not seek to conquer. They seek to connect. In time, the galaxy came to accept it. Some feared humans.
Some envied them.
But most agreed on one thing. No species had hands like humans. Soft but strong. Curious but kind. Always moving. Always reaching. It was as if they were made to pet the universe. And perhaps they were. The last story came from the edge of the Orion Expanse. An old human explorer drifted in a damaged ship. Life support failing. Signal too weak to call for help. He found a creature in the dark. It had no form, no sound, no light, just a presence. The human reached out. Not to fight, not to beg, just to touch. The creature responded. It carried the human home. When asked what happened, the explorer said only this: "I didn't know what it was, but I figured everything deserves a gentle hand." And so the galaxy learned from a species small and strange, a species that could not fly on its own, that had weak bodies and louder voices and far too much emotion, but hands that healed and hearts that reached, even for monsters, even for stars, because humans could pet anything. And somehow, that made everything better.